Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about the important items that I think you need to bring to the hospital when you're going to go stay there. This is from the perspective of a mom who's going to stay there for their child. And I've had way too much experience with this. 5 nights with my son when he was little for asthma, 2 years ago, a full week for our daughter after kidney surgery, and now we're going to be doing 4 to 7 days for her open heart surgery. And also thrown in there, I've had a night for her when she was in there for a night for migraines. So I've done this many times and I think I've kind of got it down to a science. So I was hoping maybe this will save you some time or having to run and get stuff, or have people bring you stuff, when you're in the hospital, which I hope you're not, but it happens, right? So the first thing is most of the hospitals well, I've really stayed at 3 now at this point, and they've always had a place for you to sleep in the room with your child. Generally, it's one parent, and then if it's a baby, they will usually let both. But again, depends on the hospital, so check their hospital. So they usually will have a sleeping chair, or at Stanford, they always have this kind of, it's like almost like a futon, it's like a couch, and it'll turn into actually a pretty darn comfortable bed at night. So what I do, they will supply sheets, pillows, all that good stuff, but they're rough and might not be warm enough for you. And so what I always do is I bring my sleeping bag. I bring it in a bag. And the reason I bring it in a bag is because that way every morning when I wake up, I can roll it up, throw it back in the bag, and I know it's going to stay clean no matter what goes on around me or what I put it down on. And even though those cubbies, you don't know what the last person, what was on their shoes if they put them there. So I suggest you bring your sleeping bag, bring it in a bag. And then the nice thing is just ask them for a sheet, and then you throw your sleeping bag down, and it's clean, it's from your house. So definitely that's my number one item. The second thing, and this is totally up to you, is I like to bring my own pillow in a bag again. Same reason, then I can go ahead and just throw it in there when I'm finished and pull it back out when I need it. And if you do bring a pillow and you're going to be staying at the hospital, like you're the patient and you want your own pillow, don't bring it in a white case. Make sure you bring a bright case or something so they know it's yours. Like for our daughter, this was a couple years ago when she was younger, it was a Justin Bieber pillowcase, and it was purple and pink, and there was no way that was going to get mixed into the hotel linen. So just a little thought there for you. And your child may want to bring their own pillow too, so they might want this too. And they might also want their own blankie. And I will also talk about a few items as I'm going through this that you'll want to bring for your child. But overall, the hospital has most of the things that they will need. And it's not like they're going to be changing clothes and needing a lot of that type of thing. While we're on the subject of sleeping, let me talk about that a little bit, because you want to be comfortable, but you might not want to be running into your regular jammies, because a lot of times the doctors show up at like 6:30 in the morning, and then you'll want to get up and talk to them. And if it's a teaching hospital like Stanford, you might suddenly have like 5 interns with their little computers. They have these big rolly things that they push around with their computers, and they have a conference and you want to come out and talk to them. So you just might not be comfy in your normal PJs. So I sleep either in yoga pants or like black pajama pants that look like yoga pants. And then I bring a black tank top or dark colored, because the nice thing is that if you don't want to sleep with a bra on, this hides a lot. And I bring like a thin, light zip up sweatshirt, and then that I put on top. And so at a moment's notice, if I throw this on, I can run to the bathroom. If my daughter needs something, I can go get her water or juice or whatever she wants. And I'm not like having to be running around in a robe or be putting jeans on, which takes longer, if you had on, like you're sleeping in little shorts or something. Or, maybe if you had, kind of big comfy boxer shorts that kind of look more like shorts, that might be comfy too. But I would highly suggest the dark colors if you don't want to wear a bra. Oh, and then the other thing is, you might want to bring a sports bra, because that way you're still comfy, you're stretchy, but you're able to not have things flying all over the place if if you have to get up and be out there in the middle of the night or at some point, or relatives show up and you're still being comfy. So that's also a good one. Oh, and then for your kids, if you have a daughter, sports bras are a great thing, because as they have testing done and things like that, if they're wearing a regular bra and they go in for an MRI or something, they have to take that off because there's metal. So my daughter, whenever she's going to go in, always wears a jog bra, because a lot of times you can keep that on in cases when you'd have to take a normal bra off. So, definitely sports bras, fantastic things. Now, speaking of covering the chest area, my daughter's having open heart surgery, and I don't know if this is going to work, but I bought some of the breast pedals. I always bought these at Nordstrom before, but now I saw these at Target, and I'm not sure if they're going to be as nice as the Nordstrom ones, which are really soft and all, but I just haven't had time to get over there, and I was at Target. But they really do look, wow, you know what? These are, sorry, I hadn't opened the box till right now. These do look exactly like the Nordstrom ones. These look more soft and bendable. A long, long time ago, I picked them up somewhere that it wasn't Target, I don't know where it was, and they just were harder and not as thin and didn't work as well. But the nice thing about this, and I'm hoping she can use it, is if they're opening her gown all the time and all that, I wonder if they'll let her cover her nipples with this, just so that she's a little bit more modesty, because she's going to have that cut right down here, and being a 16-year-old girl, you know, just thought this might be kind of nice. So just an idea for anyone. And these are fantastic all year round. So even if you buy them and don't use them, you know, you can, especially in summer, these will be great. You know, if you ever have an evening gown or something, I love these. They're fantastic. And I like these better than the silicone ones, because those are so like kind of thicker, rounded, at least the Nordstrom ones, that sometimes make a funny lump. So if you have a light fabric, these work much, much better. Another thing, flip-flops. You want to bring flip-flops. That way you can just put your feet in and be out the door at any point, or, you know, off your bed and not have to touch the floor. Now, we probably don't really need this anymore, but I always used to throw a flashlight in. We now have our phones. But if your phone is charging and it's not right next to you, and you want a flashlight because you, I don't know, you want to read, or you want to just check your kid and not turn any lights on. I mean, usually there's a little bit of light in there, but, you know, just in case, I always bring a flashlight. Now for some kind of comfort items, I always bring my own herbal tea bags. I just put a bunch of them in here, because a lot of times they'll have coffee and black tea, but they won't have herbal tea. And I only have 1 cup of green or black tea in the morning, and that's my caffeine for the day. And then I like herbal tea. So I always bring some herbal tea along. So any little thing like that. Snacks also. At least at Stanford, they let the kids order, you know, of course they've got a great selection of all kinds of food, but they can even order goldfish or gummy bears. I mean, if there's no dietary restriction, of course. I just love like these Cliff fruit twist things. There are these other things called summer salts that are these little sunflower seed, little cracker things. And of course, I always bring some chocolate or candy, because I just sometimes, that's my stress thing. I could probably live the rest of my life without like potato chips or alcohol, but oh my gosh, it's like chocolate, See's candy, oh my God, the best. So, you know, bring some little comfort item for you. Also, make sure to bring a few good books and magazines. This is one of my very favorite authors ever, Jed Lancaster. She is hysterical. This is another book that I've been wanting to read. It's about Starbucks and kind of how their whole story. So, and then of course magazines, whatever else you like. Do not forget your phone charger, your charger for your kids' phones, their computers. My daughter at this age, she doesn't need a lot of stuff other than, you know, her phone, her computer, and, you know, she'll probably have a book or magazine also, just in case. But if you have littler kids, definitely Lego is really good, because they can do it right there. One thing that one time kept our kids just busy for hours was Play-Doh, pipe cleaners, and those little googly eyeballs, because they could make all kinds of things out of those. We were going to Cancun with our family and another family that had 3 kids, and our flight was delayed for 14 hours. And I have to tell you, those kids must have played with that stuff for 3 or 4 hours, but that's a whole nother story. But just, that's really fun, and I love that. Don't forget your headset, because you may want to watch TV on your phone or something on your computer, and you're going to want a headset so that you're quiet. If you do have your own room, I have this little speaker, and it plugs into my computer, into my laptop, and that way if we put a movie on or something, it'll be loud enough, because, you know, sometimes you've got blood pressure machines and other noises going on. So if you are able to, you know, have noise, these are great if you want to watch your own thing on your computer. If, like us, you're going to be staying at a hotel and staying at the child's room, what we're doing is we're tag teaming. We're going to take turns staying the night with Danielle, staying at the hotel. That's what we did last time. And now our son is actually 19, so he can actually stay with her too. So we actually have one more person, which is really nice. So we'll get a little more sleep this time. But I'm going to bring a suitcase with all my stuff. But then I'm going to have just a smaller, you know, bag that I can throw what I need for the hospital in. So I'll just bring, you know, extra clothes for in the morning, or my pajama, you know, whatever toiletries I need. and my computer and all that, and just have this small carry-on bag, so I can leave the bulk of my stuff at the hotel, because we'll be there from 4 to 7 days. So I'm just going to pack a week's worth of stuff, and then I will kind of take this as my little overnight bag. And because you don't want to drag a big old suitcase there, you know what I mean? Speaking of toiletries, I have found that I like to kind of try to put everything into one case. Obviously my blow dryer is not here in this, but that way I have everything in one spot that I'm going to need, and it's just throw it in there, and then if you have to go, and if you do have to get ready at the hospital, you can just grab one thing and go into the bathroom and get ready. Now, a couple items, I'm not going to go through everything I took. That would take way too long, but just a few highlights. Dry shampoo. Bring dry shampoo, because if you don't use it on yourself, you may want to use it on your child, because they do those sponge bathy things, and they kind of do this stuff in their hair, and honestly I think that what they do in their hair is like worse afterwards than if they just like left it alone. So definitely dry shampoo. The other item I'd recommend is definitely bring a pack of makeup remover wipes for yourself, and then also they feel really nice, on your child's skin if they're, feeling yucky or greasy or sweaty. So I think these are a definite yes, and it doesn't have to be this brand. I happen to get these at Generation Beauty. I also use Neutrogena, and I've got the Aveeno ones, so whatever you have, it really doesn't matter. The other thing, don't forget to bring hair ties and maybe some bobby pins. I have a whole little selection that I just threw in this little case that I once bought bobby pins in, and you might need them. Your child, if it's a girl who has long hair, might need them, and these will be very, very handy. And also that way you can just throw your hair up, put on a baseball cap, bring a baseball cap too, maybe. Those come in kind of handy too. Then the last few things, I would definitely bring some sort of a primer for your eye makeup. So if you have time to do eye makeup, it stays all day. I know this isn't the time to do full face, full-on contoured makeup, right? But you do want to look like yourself for your child. And I think also when you look good, you feel better, you have a better attitude. At least, if you don't want to do full-on foundation and stuff, bring a tinted moisturizer, CC cream. I've been liking this one a lot, that type of thing. And then also concealer. This is such a must for me. It's like, totally need that. So this is the IT Cosmetics concealer that I've talked about before and love, but whatever concealer you like, definitely bring that. And you might also want to bring a highlighting pen like this is the La Prairie one. I've also got the Touche Éclat, same thing, but it just, helps brighten up under your eyes a bit, if you're feeling like really looking terrible at the end of the day and you want to look a little bit more awake. So these are always nice. Waterproof mascara. Not because you're going to cry, but because it's a heck of a long day. Because sometimes you're getting up and leaving your house at 4:30 in the morning to get to the hospital like by 6:30. And then there's the whole surgery, and then there's recovery waiting. And for me, the mascara I use generally never flakes. But when you're getting like into an 18 or 20 hour day, it might, or you might do this, or who knows. So I would suggest wearing waterproof mascara, or at least bringing it so you have it. Because sometimes what I've done too is I've put on regular mascara, because I don't find that this really bulks up as much, but I love it as a waterproof mascara. And if I put it on top of my already applied normal mascara, it really just kind of seals it on more. So just an idea for you there. Bronzer. Bronzer can always kind of just help warm things up a little if you're feeling like you look too draggy, so I always throw a bronzer in. And then if you have time, let's say it's your time to go take your shower, maybe, a little facial exfoliant. Doesn't have to be this brand. This happens to be Exfoliate. I like this, but I've got some other ones too, because that will kind of invigorate your face and, kind of help you wake up, and again, just add a little bit more glow to your look, because, you still want to feel human, right? Last but not least, don't forget medications for yourself. Now, I just grabbed a bottle of, the Kirkland Costco Tylenol. But whatever medications you take and you need, don't forget those, because you don't want to not have your medications, because you need to be there for your kid, and you need to stay healthy and strong. So don't forget your medications. And, I didn't put in here about bringing beverages and waters and stuff, because generally you can get that at the hospital. And if there's a certain type you like, if you're picky, you don't want it out of their ice and water machine, Definitely. I always throw a case of bottled water into the trunk of my car, so I have that if I need it. Oh, one other thing. If you have somebody who is totally addicted to drinking sodas, non-diet sodas, you might want to throw some in your car unless you want to be leaving to go and buy it somewhere, because at Stanford, they only have diet now, which I don't understand, because all those chemicals in diet I would think are worse for you than drinking the sugar, but whatever. I don't even drink soda, so I don't really care. But my poor husband, whenever he's there, is like, oh my God, it's only diet, and he hates the taste of diet. So if you are really into soda, you might want to stash some sodas in your bag. And at least at the children's section at Stanford, they always have Gatorade available and juices and things like that. So your kid will be good. In the grown-up section, when she had her angioplasty in March, oh, another night I spent at the hospital, forgot about that. They had her on a grown-up floor, because that was actually done at Stanford rather than at Lisa Packard Children's of Stanford. Anyhow, and on the grown-up level, they didn't have all that. So the children's wards generally have a lot more. And honestly, call before you go. They can answer tons of questions. Just, seriously ask the question. And what we did actually yesterday, so her surgery was supposed to be actually today. And we found out day before yesterday, they said, nope, we have a very ill baby, needs a slot. We're canceling Danielle and some other child, and we're going to do surgery on this baby today. So let's all pray that that baby went through it really well and is doing great. And then they were pushing her to the beginning of August. But then yesterday we still did all our pre-op appointments, because we were going to do those. They're good for 30 days. And that would work for the August, and we had it set up and off of work and all that stuff. And guess what? As we were walking out, Steve's phone rings, and they have her scheduled now for Tuesday, the 14th of July, to do her open heart surgery. So this is truly pulled out of what I have now packed for her surgery on Tuesday. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully this helps. If you have any other questions, please ask below. And we took a tour, which is where I think I was going with the beginning of this whole conversation. We took a little tour because she really wanted to see the PICU, which is pediatric ICU, where she's going to wake up, because she really, she's going to wake up with a breathing tube and all this stuff, and wanted to see it. And it's called Child Life Person, and she took us through the whole process. And a lot of that area we'd already seen, like where they did the surgery, where you wait, blah, 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 where you start because of for kidney surgery and everything. But we hadn't been to the PICU yet, because it's primarily being used, or maybe it's all, I'm not sure, but for pediatric cardiac patients. And so that was really good. So they do stuff like that. So if your child is feeling nervous and wants to see where they're going to be, you can do that. And they showed us the room. We even met one of the nurses that's going to be there. And she's like, oh, well, I'll be on vacation in August, because at that point we thought we were pushed to August. And I guess we may just see her when we're there on Tuesday. So hopefully that helps. I'm in a different outfit now because it's a couple days later. I've just finished up my packing, and I thought of a few more things that would be useful to bring along in case you haven't thought of it, and it'll be good for you and your child. First thing is moisturizer, because you're going to want it being in that air conditioned or heated hospital all that time. But sometimes your child's skin gets dry, and if they'll allow you, depending on what's going on with your child, they might want a little bit of moisturizer. I know my daughter has gotten really dry skin before. So, I bring just something very mild that doesn't have like a lot of, things to it. I mean, gosh, you could just even bring like the Cetaphil cream, or just any very simple moisturizer is great. And then the other thing is a lip balm. This is just one that I've been using, this Teodora one, but I mean, the Neutrogena stick, a chapstick, anything is usually probably a little nicer than they just kind of give you a blob of Vaseline. So if your child has a favorite chapstick, bring it, or if you just have something, because they again might get dry lips, and so it's nice to have that along. And then the last item, this is just something kind of sentimental. So to all of Danielle's appointments that she's been going to, I've either been wearing this, it's a lucky elephant little necklace, and it's just got a little elephant on it, and I have a little matching bracelet. These are from Dog Eared, and I've just been kind of wearing those to her appointments, just because they're supposed to be lucky. And then I also have a religious one, and it looks like almost like a little tiny rosary that I've worn to a lot of appointments too. So I'm going to wear this obviously for surgery, and then, throughout while I'm there. It's not like you're needing to accessorize, right? So if you have any little good luck charm or anything, bring it to this too if you've been bringing it to other things, because it's kind of nice. And again, I wish you all the best if you do have to go to the hospital for anything. And I will report back on how Danielle's doing after hers. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are.